All right. Good morning, everybody. There's international students and respected faculty members. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Partnership Exchange Program between DPS East Bangalore and DPS SGS School Dhaka. The exchange of ideas and the fostering of understanding across geographical and cultural divides is of the essence here. We are living in a time rife with conflict and oppression, when the greatest challenges are those that affect us all. More than ever are our destinies intertwined. We need knowledge and awareness of the threats and opportunities that lies ahead of us. Awareness, an important word indeed. So let's start an exchange of thought about the rise in temperature affecting our respective countries over the last 50 years. I would request DPS STS School Dhaka to present their thought, followed by DPS East Bangalore. DPS STS.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in grade 7th from DPS East.
Okay, DPS STS. Yes, Anisha?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sumera Hawk, and I am a student from DPS STS School Dhaka, grade 8. Being able to participate in this virtual exchange program through these tough times of pandemic from the comfort of our home is truly a privilege. DPS STS School Dhaka has been established on the ideological basis that will lead to the students discovering many aspects of school life besides academic that to learn children. To make such an incredible experience possible for us, our schools and teachers play a vital role in ensuring that we transition into global citizens and international contributors. Along with innovative teaching and learning systems focusing on the diverse aspects of education, our co-curricular activities play an important part of our school years through which we will get the best opportunities to explore new ideas and activities. It truly is an honor for me for being able to share my views about my country and the world. Bangladesh is a land filled with cultural diversity and people of multiple ethnicities, with Bengalis as the predominant group comprising about 98% of the population. Dhaka, the capital and the largest city, is also the economic, political, and cultural center of Bangladesh in the south central part of the country. Now let us watch a video about the beautiful Dhaka city.
Do you have sound for this? No.
Sir, can you hear the sound?
No. I think you should enable sharing of sound while you share the screen. Yes, we can.
guys liked the video. Now my friend Rubaba will be telling us about what is change in temperature.
Thank you, Sumera. Now I'll be explaining about change in temperature in Dhaka over the past 50 years. So what is change in temperature? Temperature, as we know it, is the intensity of heat in a substance. By measuring it, we can understand how hot or cold our weather is. Temperature isn't something that remains constant. For example, temperatures in the morning and at night aren't the same. This indicates that temperatures fluctuate by many degrees each and every day where we live. But in the past few decades, we have observed that the average temperatures have been increasing. This is a sign of climate change. Climate change is the long term change in average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. It has many causes, such as global warming, but also has a broad range of dangerous effects as well. These effects can not only harm the environment but also the livelihoods of people. Some of these effects that have been observed in Dhaka are the recent and frequent cyclones and floods. Bangladesh is exceptionally vulnerable to climate change, mainly due to its low elevation, meaning how low lying Bangladesh is and how close it is to sea level, its high population density, and inadequate infrastructure. All of these factors add up to put our beloved nation in harm's way. Now, my friend Ahuna will join me in explaining change in temperature of Dhaka over the past 5 decades.
Thank you, Rubaba. Now, I will be talking about the change of temperature in Dhaka over the last 5 decades. During the 1970s to 1980, average temperature was around 27.4 degrees Celsius. It was nothing alarming. In the next decade, the average temperature was zero point 0.2 degrees Celsius. Now it was 27.6 degrees Celsius, and it increased by the same amount in 1991 to 2000. Now, my friend Baba will continue to tell the temperature change in Dhaka over the last 5 decades.
Thank you, Ahuna. From 2001 to 2010, average temperature shows by around another zero point 0.2 degrees Celsius, becoming approximately 28 degrees Celsius. But in the next decade, which is also our very recent decade, from 2011 to 2020, average temperatures rose by a whole degree, becoming 29 degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, this is the maximum average temperature recorded until now since 1950s, and it is still continuing to rise. Now my friend Ahuna will explain the trends of change in temperature in Dhaka.
Now, what we have in front of us is a chart. Is a chart explaining the average temperature change in Dhaka over the past 7 decades. During the 1950s to 1960, the temperature wasn't exactly good. It was over 27.5 degrees Celsius. But thankfully, in the next decade, the average temperature decreased. But it again started to increase, but steadily until 2010. From 2011 to 2020, the average temperature increased by one whole degree Celsius. And as my friend Rubaba explained, this is the maximum amount of temperature increase since 1950s. Now, my friend Sadiq will be explaining the effect on the 6 seasons of Bangladesh due to temperature change.
Okay, thank you, Ahuna. I will take it from here. And when I spoke to my parents and my grandparents, they described that Bangladesh is called the land of 6 seasons that lasted for significant duration, each with its own distinct and beautiful characteristics. The 6 seasons are summer, which we call in Bangla Grisho, rainy, Borsha, autumn, Sharod, late autumn, Hemonto, winter, Shit, spring, which we call in Bangla Boshanto. So however, to my surprise, we mostly experience 4 seasons, which are summer, rainy, winter, and spring. Now my friend Adib will elaborate further on this.
Think I'll explain it from here. Okay, thank you, Sadiq. I'll explain it from here. So, temperatures have risen across the regions in Bangladesh, especially in one season in Dhaka. It is summer, which is officially April to May, but because of the temperature changes in the last decades, um, which have increased the temperature by an entire degree Celsius, it makes the summer feel like it's from March to June. The growing seasons have become longer. The lengths of winter, summer, and rainy seasons in Bangladesh have increased, while spring has decreased. Changes that are likely to have an adverse impact on agriculture. For instance, the Financial Express published article as recently as 2018 stating that climate change is a major reason for the decline in agricultural production. It is bad for the economy because um, agriculture is the largest economic sector of Bangladesh, with 62% of its people engaged in agriculture farming to manage their substance from agriculture production. And uh, precipitation patterns have changed. Due to climate change, there has been an erratic rainfall in Bangladesh. From a study on the trend of rainfall in Bangladesh, it has been found that the annual rainfall has increased at a rate of plus 5.53 millimeters per year in the last 50 years, a significant increase in pre-monsoon rainfall at a rate of 2.47 millimeters per year, at a 99% level of confidence of So now I invite Hina and Mark to speak about the causes of climate change.
Yes, I'm not hearing anybody.
Maybe he has some microphone issue.
Connectivity.
Yeah. Can somebody else take it from here?
Now. There might be a
Yeah,
network issue.
yeah, I think.
So
Next person take over.
Sir, I can see Maria here, but I think she's having technical problem.
Probably. So ask your next member to take over.
Maria is here. She can take over.
Yeah, maybe she has a problem.
Maria, you can
The team
unmute
leader.
yourself and you can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, now we can.
Waste disposal. Waste management or waste disposal includes the activities and actions required to manage waste from its inception to its final disposal. This includes everything from the collection, transport, treatment, and disposal of waste. Waste
Yeah.
management
Maria, you need to start from rapid urbanization.
Okay, sir, that was my teammate, so she isn't here.
Acha,
You start. You start.
Okay, sir. Rapid urbanization. Rapid urbanization is a phenomenon where rural or small areas of population rapidly develop into urban areas like cities. Rapid urbanization in Dhaka occurred sometime around 1990 to 2005, where Dhaka's population boomed from 6 million to 12 million. Many people came to Dhaka to find employment and better opportunities. In this boom, several amenities for Dhaka's residents opened up, like restaurants, gyms, spas, etc. However, with the rapid urbanization came tons of populated streets, terrible quality of air, and an expensive cost of living. Increased use of fossil fuels, greenhouse gas emission, and carbon dioxide emission. When fossil fuels are used, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane are released. But how does this affect Dhaka? Dhaka is famous for its terrible quality air. Its air quality index read 312, which is considered hazardous. Because of the layer of ozone the earth contains, these gases trap inside the atmosphere and raise the temperature. We have covered the effects of fluctuating temperature in the news as year after year. Bangladesh is a rampage with severe weather such as cyclones, flash flood, and landslides. Waste disposal. Waste disposal or waste management includes the activities and actions required to manage waste from its inception to its disposal. It includes everything from the collection, transport, treatment, and disposal of waste. Waste management in Bangladesh faces many challenges due to its large, rapidly growing population in a densely populated country. And with this population growth, there is an increasing problem of waste management in the cities. According to an UNFPA report, Dhaka is one of the most populated cities in the world, and one of the issues is its management of waste. Dhaka produces around 6,000 tons of domestic waste every day, and it is one of the burning problems in the city right now. Deforestation. Deforestation is deliberate, natural, or unintentional removal of destruction of trees. Dhaka is an extremely urbanized area, which means it is hard for grow any trees there. Dust and extreme sunlight make it difficult for a variety of plants to grow, and continuous construction projects means that increasing amounts of trees or plants are being plowed over in favor of more buildings. Less trees implies less absorption of carbon dioxide, leading to a much higher temperature. From 2011 to 2019, Dhaka lost 4.85 kha of tree cover, equivalent to a 5.3 decrease in tree cover since 2000. My friends Noella, Afan, and Zain will discuss the consequences of these changes.
Thank you, Maria. Now, what are the consequences of these temperature changes that we are facing? Mosquito-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever can be a threat because of warmer weather. The particular reason for this occurrence is that climate change is in conjunction with urbanization as well, which creates a climate that is perfectly suitable for malaria and dengue disease transmission, as both of these diseases best spread when in a warm climate, and this is why they mostly outbreak in tropical countries. And Dhaka, being the most metropolitan city with both urbanization and climate change together, has the most outbreaks of this deadly disease in Bangladesh. In July 2019, over 81% of all dengue cases were reported within Dhaka city.
New rainfall patterns will lead to polarized rivers, with flows exceptionally higher in summers yet lower in winter. In a country which is already prone to flooding, this trend will only make the matters worse. The groundwater stress will also increase, especially in the coastal areas, which will increase the salinity of the water. This will make the weather bizarre, and the aftermath will be suffered by us accordingly if the river water becomes polarized. More frequent and disastrous cyclones. Bangladesh is frequently visited by natural disasters such as tropical cyclones, storm surges, floods, droughts, etc. Of these, the tropical cyclones are mainly originated in the Bay of Bengal. So, an increase in the temperature is likely to increase these cyclone activities, and this will have a disastrous effect on a deltaic country like Bangladesh.
Droughts. Climate change has caused droughts to take place more frequently throughout the world, as well as in Bangladesh. As the ozone layer depletion started from 1980s, the number of droughts taking place has also increased. Bangladesh went through 6 strong droughts in 6 different years after the ozone layer depletion. Increase in temperature due to climate change was the main reason of this drought. Increase in the number of heat strokes and diarrhea. Heat strokes. Due to increase in temperature of Bangladesh, the rate of heat strokes has also increased relatively. As temperature change increases the average temperature of a country, the higher temperature also increases a person's body temperature. A heat wave that passed through Bangladesh in 2009 had a temperature of 42.8 degrees Celsius, and it caused 8 people to die in just 1 week due to heat stroke. So, diarrhea. Diarrhea remains one of the major causes of death in Bangladesh among children, found from a study published in 2015. So, how does climate change relate with diarrhea? Temperature increase, temperature increase results in more evaporation, which causes some areas to go through severe storms and more precipitation. These natural behaviors eventually causes floods and runoffs, which results in sewage, chemicals, and other infectious particles to diffuse into the water. When this contaminated water is consumed by individuals, it results in severe waterborne diseases, usually diarrhea, and this often people living in area with less safe water source are being infected by these diseases.
So, here's a picture of the cyclone's water and its disastrous effect. Now my friend Mamlukur will tell us about the viewpoints of meteorologists, senior citizens, and the common public.
Thank you, Afan, for handing over the presentation to me. Now I'm going to be talking about how our meteorologists or we as citizens taking this problem into account. Like according to many senior citizens, urban temperature is rising faster than ever expected. Like this is not done. Moreover, as mentioned before, it causes many problems and even diseases like dengue and malaria. So obviously we should not address poverty over without addressing climatic change. And such abnormal weather also changed the pattern of climate, and like by this time we could expect rainfall. And if I share my personal experience, I have been always hearing from my grandparents that Bangladesh is the only country which have 6 seasons. But I rarely feel the presence of these 6 seasons, and instead I only feel the presence of rather 4 seasons, unlike any other countries. So now we're going to look at a video where my friend is taking an interview with her grandpa.
What do you experience in the climate change in Dhaka city over the past 50 years?
I found the Dhaka city was calm and healthier during 60s of the past century. Due to rapid urbanization and industrialization, the climate of Dhaka city has changed remarkably. The population boom has exceeded the limit of tolerance. The water, air, sound, etc. are extremely polluted now. Dhaka city needs well-planned decentralization to face the climate hazards.
Now that was a nice video. How about you say? Okay, so as a low-lying country, Bangladesh frequently face recurrent flooding, and along by till now, 2 cyclones have caused massive damage to huge amount of crops and habitats. Along by with the pressure of this COVID-19 pandemic currently, a lot of pressure is created upon the government, said by the our Prime Minister. So next, I would like to hand over the presentation to Anisha, who will be speaking about government stand on this temperature.
Thank you, Mamlukur. Considering global high risks, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said our national parliament declared a planetary emergency and called upon the world to work on a war footing to stop climate change. Now let's see what steps are taken by the government of Bangladesh to stop this climate change. Bangladesh has invested more than $10 billion in climate change actions. The government has developed the Bangladesh Climate Change Strategy and Action Plan in the year 2008. The Climate Change Action Plan is built on 6 pillars. Number 1, food security, social protection and health. Number 2, comprehensive disaster management. Number 3, infrastructure. Number 4, research and knowledge management. Number 5, mitigation and low carbon development. Number 6, capacity building. Not only this, the government of Bangladesh is planting more than 11.5 million saplings nationwide to mark the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It has also launched a plan called the Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan to mobilize resources for a secure, sustainable future. Now let's hear about our opinion from Mahib Ismail.
You, thank you, Anisha. So now I'm gonna be talking about your opinion about the change in temperature in Dhaka. To sum it up, we would like to say that we humans are the reason for the destruction of our own living space in this world. The only thing we can do is become conscious of our lifestyle to prevent further increase in the world's temperature. It is because we cannot stop natural disasters, but we all can work together by stepping forward to prevent them in the near future. We have to always keep in our mind that this world is not mine, not yours, but it belongs to all of us, and only one of us cannot turn this world into a better place. Now, my friend Akitma will talk about the steps that should be taken by us to prevent the rise in temperature.
Thank you, Mahir. Steps that should be taken by us to prevent the rise in temperature. Reduce water waste. You can do this by making sure there are no leaks in your household and taking efficient showers. Plant more trees. This can simply be done by starting a garden of your own or by planting trees in dull areas of your community. Minimize the use of air conditioning. It is not always necessary to turn on an air conditioner to get some cold air into your house. You can try opening a window or going for a walk. Switch off electrical appliances when not in use. Make sure to turn off the fan and light when you are leaving a room, and turn off electrical appliances when they are not in use. Raise awareness. Talk to your family or friends about this topic. Create more sustainable transportation habits. This can be done easily by using a bike to travel short distances or by using a bus to travel rather long ones. Replace regular incandescent light bulbs. These light bulbs can be replaced by eco-friendly light bulbs or LEDs. Now Arika will take us forward.
Thank you, Akitma. So, the time to take action to save the planet is today, not tomorrow. And we should be maintaining the steps of prevention to stop the climate change. And with this, I would like to end the presentation on behalf of my school. I hope you liked our presentation and had a great time. Thank you all for your patience.
Despite Dhaka's weather conditions, it is a wonderful city to live in. It is the most modern city in Bangladesh. Dhaka is home to over 2,000 historical. Dhaka is a major beta global city as it hosts the headquarters of several international corporations from all over the country. People come to Dhaka for good employment opportunities. Since its establishment as a modern capital city, the population, area, social and economic diversity of Dhaka have grown tremendously. The city is now one of the most densely industrialized regions in Bangladesh. Dhaka is characterized by its busy urban life with vibrant and versatile culture. The city's culture is known for its cycle rickshaws, variety of cuisine, art festival, and religious diversity. When it comes to food, Dhaka is unbeatable. It is a melting pot of different types of cuisines. You can find any type of food your heart desires. Thank you very much. And also, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience as we were experiencing technical difficulties. Thank you so much for cooperating with us. Hope you liked our presentation.
Thank you, DPS-STS, for your wonderful presentation and share of ideas. Now, I would request DPS Bangalore, East Bangalore, to come up with their thoughts and idea.
It was a wonderful presentation, sir. So every aspect was being taken care of. We really liked it, and it gave us an insight of what Dhaka actually is. Wonderful work, sir.
Thank you. Are there any questions from students of DPS East?
Yes, students are really, they were messaging that the presentation was good. They need some time to think about any further question if it is coming up. So can we present our PPT for that first?
Please do.
Please do.
Yeah. So from this DPS Bangalore East, Abhishek will take over.
Thank you. I'm opening the presentation. A very good morning to one and all. It is a great opportunity to be present here and be part of such a wonderful program. I must say it was a very informative presentation by my friends from DPS Dhaka. Now, without a moment of delay, let me walk you through our presentation made by the students of Delhi Public School, Bangalore East on the change in temperature of Bangalore in the past 50 years. This slide presents before you the key topics we will be covering in this presentation. Before we talk about the temperature change, let me introduce you to our beautiful city Bangalore through a very small video, following which Sujaya will apprise us more about the city.
As you know what Bangalore is famous for, I will tell a story on how Bengaluru got its name. There is a legend which goes that the king Veeraballa once lost his way while hunting in the forest. Hungry and tired, he visited a lonely hut in the thick forest, where he met a woman who gave him some baked beans called bendekalu in Kannada. Humble meal tasted better than those served in the palace. To commemorate this incident, he called the place Bendekaluru, which in time transformed into Bengaluru. Bangalore experienced rapid population growth due to the arrival of many immigrants from northern Karnataka and from other parts of India. By 1961, Bangalore had become the sixth largest city in India with a population of 1,207 people. Today, Bangalore is India's third most populous city.
Yes, that's a huge population growth. Did you know that Bangalore's population increased by 3% in the year 2020 alone? Moving further, Himam will now enlighten us on the growth and development of Bangalore city.
Dear friends and teachers, did you know that Bangalore is called the Silicon Valley of Asia? The main reason for the growth of the IT sector is because of the establishment and success of high technology firms in India. A good example is Wipro. A survey in 2017 suggests that the IT industry provides jobs for 1.5 million employees in Bangalore. This includes IT and IT-enabled service sectors. Bangalore's economic power can be seen as it is a home to 7,700 millionaires and 8 billionaires. The sum of all their wealth is USD 20 billion. Bangalore is a biotechnology hub. There are several industries the same. Around 40% of the 265 biotechnology companies established in India are located in Bangalore. It includes Biocon, India's largest biotechnology company. Can you believe that just 50 years ago, Bangalore was a developing area, but today it is known for its rapid industrial development. Most of the key companies have their branches set up in Bangalore. In 2014, Bangalore contributed USD 45 billion, or 38% of India's total IT exports.
Himam, I'm sure that after listening to you, our friends from DPS Dhaka will agree that Bangalore has seen a lot of major development over the last 50 years. As you saw in the previous slide, many international companies like Oracle, Cisco, Broadcom, Microsoft, and IBM have their offices in Bangalore. Ananya will now present before us the change in temperature over the last 50 years.
Before we look at the changes in temperature over the years, let's watch a short video which will give us an insight into this topic. Like shown in the video, the temperature has risen exponentially over a period of 50 years. The developmental activities have played a major role in the rise of temperature. Please observe the numbers displayed on the screen. There is an alarming rise in temperature throughout all the seasons. During spring, it has risen by approximately 10 degrees Celsius and summers by 11 degrees Celsius. The temperature during the cooler seasons such as autumn and winter have also risen by 5 degrees Celsius and 7 degrees Celsius respectively.
Ananya, the temperature slide made me feel warm or rather hot. What has caused this alarming difference in temperature? Let's know about it from Sia.
Thank you, Ananya, for giving us these figures, which shows a striking difference between 50 years back and now. Let us now have a look at the factors responsible for such a huge change in temperature. Can you name some of them? First and foremost factor is the increase in population. We see fourfold rise in number of people, which leads to more houses, more offices, and more vehicles, which is the major cause of deforestation and carbon dioxide. The other major cause is the urban development of Bangalore. It looks like a gray colored cemented jungle because of burning of fossil fuels and emission from vehicles and industries. Pollution also becomes a major contributor. We can say that deforestation is also a primary cause for climate change. Someone has rightly said that the world's first fully air conditioned city has lost all its glory. Can you guess why? Because first, the rulers planned on growing more trees, while now it is an unplanned urban growth. We know that the lowest temperature recorded in Bangalore was 4 degrees Celsius in January 2019, and the highest recorded was 41 degrees Celsius in 2016.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. Our naturally air-conditioned city is losing its glory. On a lighter note, it's too bad that trees only produce the oxygen we breathe. Imagine if trees would produce Wi-Fi signals. We would be planting so many trees that it would save the planet too. Abhishekta and Sanjana will now take us through the other effects of this temperature change.
Over 2 decades, Bangalore is facing a very different and much harsher reality. The cloud cover causes the temperature in the city to increase. The climate change is a huge problem as rainfall is scarce, resulting in decreasing groundwater levels and water scarcity. The temperature rise is causing discomfort and health problems, mainly to the senior citizens. The rains and strong winds have resulted in a drop in temperature. Explosive development has led to the creation of heat islands within the city. Such a dramatic change in weather in a short span of time should be cause of concern to one and all. Tall buildings in densely packed areas obstruct the sky and lower wind speeds, hampering air circulation and trapping heat. These materials absorb heat quickly and transfer some of it indoors.
Consequences of the change in temperature. Friends, the dirt and smoke from cars cover the leaves of trees, reducing their vital functions and oxygen production. Also, reduction of trees and lakes and increase in concrete in asphalt lakes like malls, flyovers, and office complexes has significantly amplified the temperature and heat in the inner parts of the city. Can you believe that between 2030 and 2050, Bangalore's climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths globally per year, mostly from malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress? Also, high temperatures raise the levels of ozone and other pollutants in the air that cause cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Rising temperatures and variable precipitation are likely to decrease the production of staple foods. Floods and extreme precipitation are also increasing in frequency and intensity. In Bangalore, satellite images show green cover reducing at alarmingly fast rate.
That's scary, isn't it? It may be, but Rajvi and Vaishnavi have some ways by which we can prevent or minimize the changes that are occurring in Bangalore.
From today's perspective, it might seem odd how little attention we pay to the climate crisis, which affects each and every one of us. In this slide, there are four major ways we can use to prevent climate change. The basic need of fresh air comes from plants, which help in purifying the air. Bangalore is known for its lakes, but due to the rise in temperature, they are dying. To prevent this, there should be an equal and united effort put by the citizens of Bangalore. To eliminate waste, we need to rediscover thrift. Thrift is a concept of reuse, reduce, and recycle with an economical aspect. And yet, this concept of thrift is very important in preventing climate change. Fuel efficient cars and renewable energy also play a major role in preventing climate change.
Some other ways to help reduce the rise in temperature are using renewable sources of energy, such as solar energy or wind energy, in our houses and other buildings,
Cars and other vehicles emit many harmful gases that are polluting the environment. Use of bicycle or walking would help reduce the amount of these harmful gases that are being emitted. More carpooling should be encouraged amongst the IT employees of Bangalore. Let's hear what two students, Anahita and Aryan, have to say about climate change. Many NGOs, that is, non-profit organizations, have planted saplings and created forests. It has been seen that in these areas, the temperature is 2 to 3 degrees lesser compared to other parts of Bangalore. Many locals and panchayats are working collectively to revive or rejuvenate dried lakes, and in many cases have been successful. To add to that, many people have installed aerators in their homes to reduce water wastage. After all, a drop of water is worth more than a sack of gold to a thirsty man. Many big organizations have started using renewable or alternative sources of energy, such as solar energy, in their offices. And I'm proud to say that DPS East also uses solar energy to light up the pathways.
I'm sure that the students from DPS Dhaka will agree with her opinion too. What cannot be achieved if the authorities support the cause? The government of India and the state government of Karnataka are jointly working together to prevent these drastic climate changes. Siri will be telling us more about this.
All these changes going on, we would feel much stronger if we knew that our government is helping. So let me tell you about a few schemes that our government has imposed. Firstly, the Bangalore Climate Change Initiative Karnataka aims at finding the scientific reason to the changes that are happening due to the climatic conditions. Even though our city Bangalore has two big coolers, the trees and the lakes, the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board's objective is to make Karnataka a better place to live. Did you know that the Paris Agreement is an international treaty signed by 190 countries? I know, right? That's a lot of countries. But we have given our commitment to the Paris Agreement that we will keep the global average temperatures within 2 degrees centigrade. The National Action Plan on Climate Change has 8 schemes. One of that is the Green India Mission. It takes care of all the needs of a diminishing forest and also responds to the climatic changes. The state government of Karnataka has launched the Environment Management and Policy Research Institute to support the capacity building on climate change program. The United Nations has made a set of 17 goals. In that, the 17th one concerns on issues like food and agriculture security, water, energy, and much more.
Now, to add on to Siri's points, let's watch a small video. With all the initiatives and efforts from the government and citizens, we definitely will see the desired climatic changes. Hey friends, now that we have gone through the entire presentation, I would like to summarize the key takeaways. Bangalore is known as the Silicon Valley of Asia due to its vast number of IT companies. Its population is rising rapidly and is currently the third most populous city in India. Along with IT, Bangalore is also a biotechnology hub as 47% of all of India's biotechnology companies are in Bangalore. The temperature in Bangalore has risen drastically in the past 50 years due to urban development, rise in population, pollution, and deforestation. According to meteorologists, this hike in temperature is a result of Bangalore's cloud cover. Citizens inform this increase is causing water scarcity, and due to an increase in pollutants, cardiovascular and respiratory disease is on the rise in serious citizens. Also, the production of food has decreased owing to erratic weather conditions. We students can help prevent and reduce this change by planting trees, saving water, using renewable energy, implementing the 3 Rs, etc. The government is also actively involved in reducing the surge in temperature. Hopefully, in the next 50 years, Bangalore's temperatures will return to how it was 50 years back. Now presenting before you our team, the researchers from DPS Bangalore East who helped make this presentation possible. Our team consists of 10 students each from the 7th and 8th standards. As the COVID pandemic is still on, we could not meet personally in school. However, we did many online sessions to brainstorm the content of this presentation. We were guided by our respected teachers, Jyoti ma'am and Sweta ma'am. Here are a few references which helped us with our research. Thank you, respected dignitaries and teachers, for giving us the opportunity to present before you our findings and opinions.
Yes,
That
thank
was
you.
fantastic.
Fantastic presentation. Fantastic presentation. Any question from any side?
Sir, I have 2 questions.
Yes, Noella, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I really liked your presentation. I got to learn a lot about Bangalore that I had not known before. I'm curious about why Bangalore is called the Silicon Valley of Asia. Like, how did it gain that title?
Yeah, Siri would like to give the answer from GPS Bangalore East. Siri?
Yes, ma'am. The city Bangalore got its name Silicon Valley of Asia because there are a lot of IT companies, that is in technological companies in Bangalore, which makes it the Silicon Valley.
Okay, and the second question was, the government is taking great initiatives, and it's really amusing to see your technologies amid the scarcities. But other than the organizations, what can you do as an ordinary population, or what are some basic measures we all can take by ourselves to protect the climate?
Sujay, please, Sujay is ready with the answer.
Yes, ma'am. The one way we can do that is by implementing the as it was said, and yeah.
We couldn't hear you. Can you just repeat that, please?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
What can we give so to help the environment is we can help implement the 3 Rs.
Yes. Abhishek, would you like to add on to what Sujay has said?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we can implement the 3 Rs. So they are reduce, reuse, and recycle. So what we can do is when we pack other packages and gifts for other people, we can reduce the amount of wrapping that goes while wrapping those presents. We can use them, like if we buy some cold drinks or some juice bottles, then we can reuse those plastic to make some flower pots. It is reused. And we can recycle. There are many.
Miss Jasmine, go mute. Yeah, continue, please.
There are many NGOs in Bangalore which take recycled items. So, for example, like newspapers, we can recycle them and donate them to those NGOs.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So my question is, how much of India's economy does Bangalore make up again? Like, am I audible?
Can you repeat the question, please?
How much of India's economy does Bangalore make up? Like, so, like, what percentage of India's economy does Bangalore make up?
Is anyone here amongst our students knowing this answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I answer?
Yeah, I can see many hands. Yes, please.
Yes, sure.
So as we saw on the slide, actually, 47% of all the IT companies and the um, famous companies are actually in Bangalore. So 47% of the whole country, like whole companies, are in Bangalore.
So like 47% of like the tech economy is in Bangalore.
Yes, you can say
Okay.
that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to add on something over here, and that is for the India. But for the state of Karnataka, this Bangalore, it contributes 87%. That's quite a number.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any question from Bangalore East?
Yeah, sir. Okay, at first I will ask my students. Yeah, one second. One thing that I heard. Okay, Abhyarth is having. Abhyarth, yeah, please. Abhyarth, you can unmute and speak. Vaishnavi.
Yes, so my question was that what exactly did you mean when you said create sustainable transportation habits?
Okay, who wants to answer? Yes, anybody?
Sir, may I?
Yes, please go ahead.
By sustainable transportation habit, it means in such ways that it won't really harm the environment and in ways that are more eco-friendly, such as walking or cycling when we are taking shorter distances. Hope it helps.
Yeah, it answered my question. Thank you.
Anybody else?
One of the student had said that we must take care that ACs are not switched on whenever it is not required. So is it really possible over there? Means looking at the conditions of the place, is it a practical thing? Not required so much? How much that is being done?
Does any student wants to try this?
Ma'am, we relatively keep the ACs off when we don't, really need it, and rooms can be kept cool in more ways, like cross-air ventilation. We can keep the windows open in a time of the day where air ventilation will be active, and I think the companies are also starting to make a CFC-free ACs, air conditioners, and sprays. So that is helping the environment.
Okay, thank you.
And also, I would like to add, it's about habit. Most of the people have grown with the habit of the temperature that we live in. So it's all amounts to that. If you get into the habit of not using the AC so much, then you can manage. People do
Sir,
survive.
we have to adjust ourselves self with the environment that we're living. So there is no need of AC, I think, if we can adjust.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Any other
There is,
question?
yeah, Asmita from grade 7th had one question. Asmita, please ask.
Yes, ma'am. I had a question that what is the major factor in bringing change in population and climate change in Dhaka?
Sir, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the major reason why the population of Dhaka increased is that Dhaka is the capital city of Bangladesh and it is where most opportunities are. It is where most people get employments and education, and so a lot of people migrate to Dhaka from the more rural areas to get employed or to get access to more education or to get access to facilities, services, and technologies. So this is the main reason why a lot of people migrate to Dhaka, which increases our population and if population increases, the temperatures rise as well, because um, the more population there is, the more use of vehicles, the more deforestation because of lack of space. So this increases our temperatures as well. Hope it helps.
Thank you, Rubaba, for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Any other question?
From our from GPS Bangalore is Abhyart. Abhyart, please a question.
Hello, ma'am. Can you
Abhyart?
hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, I had some internet. Actually, my headphone was not working, so now
It's
I'm
okay.
speaking.
Now ask your question.
So my question was that
Yeah.
for this COVID pandemic, so as there are less cars, so less number of less gases, amount of gas should be emitted, less amount. So does that bring any sort of improvement in the climate change in Dhaka?
It was lagging a bit in the middle. Could you please repeat your question once more?
Okay, so for this COVID pandemic, so in Dhaka, is there any improvement in the climate change because there are less number of cars on the road? So is there any improvement or same? I would like to answer your question. So basically, during the lockdown, less cars were moving on the roads. So during that time, there was less pollution, and it also came in news that our air also improved a lot. Like the environment, it is also really fresh. That it was really fresh at that time. I hope this answers to your question.
Thank you.
Actually, your voice was breaking. I
Sia?
couldn't hear anything.
Yes, Abhyat.
Actually, someone's voice was breaking, so I couldn't hear to her answer.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, I got the yes, I can hear you. So during the COVID-19 lockdown in Bangladesh, less cars were moving on the roads, and that decreased the amount of pollution in the air. So at that time, the air was really fresh, and it also came in news that the air quality in Bangladesh improved a lot than before. I
Okay,
hope this answers to your question. Thank you. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Sia, do you have any question? You have raised
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hand.
Yes, ma'am. I actually had a question. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what role exactly does waste management play, like in rise in temperature in Dhaka?
Who wants to try?
Sir, may I?
Please go.
So the more waste there is, the more pollution it creates, and also from waste, there is a lot more CFC gas emissions such as methane and carbon dioxide, which causes our ozone layer to deplete, and this is one of the factors that uh, contributes to temperature rising, and also the more waste there is, the more waste there goes to the landfills and also sometimes the water bodies, which destroys the ecosystem of water bodies, and destruction of ecosystem is also another factor which contributes to rising in temperature. Hope this helps.
Thank you for answering.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Okay, we can go on to the next stage, and that is deciding on our next topic on the virtual exchange program we'll have in August. So I would like to ask DPS STS Dhaka to come up with their thought on this.
So, sir, we have actually decided two topics. So the first topic which we would like to suggest is architecture in our respective countries. So basically, architecture is a part of our culture, and also many historical events are related to architecture. Architecture stands as a representation of how we see ourselves as well as how we see the world. So if we work on this topic, we will get to know both countries' architecture along with culture and also about some historic events of each other's countries.
So another topic
That's
suggested
good.
by us for the next meeting is women's empowerment in our respective countries. Empowering women is essential to the health and social development of families, communities, and countries. If we choose this topic, then we can learn how our countries are empowering women and comparing to the past, how much we improved on women empowerment. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
both are
that's wonderful.
very good topic from DPS Bangalore East. What are your
Yeah, so
suggestions?
thank you. Thank you, sir. We are keeping our topics confined to science because it was for the given thing for us. From GPS, this Bangalore East, Abhyar and Abhishan and Ananya Chakravarti would take the lead. Abhishan and Ananya.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We have thought of many topics. We have thought of mainly three topics. They are effects of pollutants on monuments of India, evolution of different fabrics and their production, street foods, and their effects on health. Now, to explain those topics, I would like to call upon Ananya.
For the first topic, which is effects of pollutants on monuments of India and Bangladesh, it's majorly because we all know and we all have studied the harmful effects of air pollution on our health and the environment, but we haven't given much thought on what the air pollution does on inanimate things such as our monuments. So if we contribute our time to and put on our effort to study this topic, it creates awareness among young citizens and it will help us achieve our goal to preserve our own heritage. And for the second topic is the evolution of fabrics and their production. I would recommend this topic as the fibers and fabrics have evolved for at a great height from the past years. We all must be familiar of the story Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit. But with technology and science evolving round the clock, fibers have evolved to great height, which improves the quality and maintenance of clothes. So if we study on this topic, it provides us the details and the requirements of how this is helpful to our environment as well as to us and gives us an insight into this field of science. Street foods and its effects on our health. Street foods are really delicious and everyone enjoys them. This is a topic. This is a common topic which would all like to suggest. This is because we don't pay much attention on how the street foods can be made healthier, and if we do that, the consumption of street food will be limited, as well as if someone consumes them, it won't harm their health much.
Okay, so some interesting topics flowing from both sides. Uh,
So how do we come to some consensus on the topic? I actually also like the suggestion from DPS STS Dhaka about the architecture, and if we could merge it with the impact of air pollution on the monuments, it could serve the purpose of maybe both ideas could be merged and we could get us going to that, but it's of course left open for everybody to take a call.
Yeah, I think last time we decided. I think now you can take a call. You can decide and let us know. It is also good if you can give a brief outline of the next exchange program in
Sure.
terms of the time, what to talk, what to include, what not to include. That will be great.
Sure. Dr. Shivanand, if everybody is comfortable, we can do this topic and we can decide on the timing, the flow. And as you had done, we will also then share our flow, that is the plan for everybody to start working on as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you say, Mr. Shamim?
I agree with you 100%, and I guess this was the first time around, so there's a lot of confusion. So I'm sure next program will be worthwhile with the topic decided earlier.
Yeah, yeah. I think, Ms. Preeti, you and your team can decide. As you said, you can merge and share the flow, and we will work on that.
Sure, Dr. Shivanand. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Now we come to the next part of the program, and that is I would request the Vice Principal from DPS STS Dhaka to say a few words about this program. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning and good afternoon. Good morning. Sorry, now it is good afternoon for all. Yeah. It was so interesting and exciting to hear both the school students. I wondered how meticulously you covered all the aspects of the exchange program. And incidentally, the Indian Prime Minister is in Dhaka today, offering tribute to the war heroes of Bangladesh Liberation War, where India was also part of it. And the two countries are exchanging a lot of resources and ideas at a national level, and at the school level, we are doing it. So it is all matching our common goals. I was also intrigued by the temperature change in Bangalore. It was by 10 degrees. That was alarming. Whereas in Dhaka, it is almost 2 degrees. So the temperature change varies from region to region. As one of the Bangalore student mentioned, the areas where the green cover is more, the temperature change is less. So it is evident for all of us that what to do. When I travel around the Dhaka city, I really appreciate the people who do not spare even a square feet of area. If there is any empty area, they'll plant something. So there is no vacant space because space crunch is here. So they don't want to waste any space available. And I also see similar trend in Bangalore. So I think the future is bright for all of us. People paint a glim picture, but it is not so because our students are aware. They know what to do. They know what works, and they are more action oriented than the previous generation. I'm sure we will have a bright future for all of us, and with the invention of new technologies, new methods, and the initiatives, and most importantly, the participation of active citizens, we will build a great future for ourselves, also for the coming generations. And this virtual exchange program is one such demonstration of our interest and participation in such case. See, when we discuss the next topic, we are all talking about preserving our culture. We are all talking about how can we take this to the next level. So we are all aware. We know what is important for us, and that is the best way to take forward. And I'm thankful to Miss Manila who agreed for this, and also the heads, Miss Preeti and the team who have taken this in a positive note. And from DPS STS, Mr. Shamim Siddiqui, Ms. Jasmine Sultana, and Ms. Shalini, who is not here today, who have taken the initiative. Most importantly, all the students who have enthusiastically participated, collected the facts, helped their team to present. I think we have a very good prospects of learning from one another and growing together. I'm really happy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Piti ma'am to say a few words about today's event.
Very, very good afternoon to the entire team our first virtual partnership on such a opportune day when we have the prime ministers together and nations moving forward, and we doing this at a smaller, a minuscule level. But I feel we are really molding our students, and they are really the building blocks of the future. Students are small and we need to catch them young. I want to quote here that international education cannot be the work of one country. It is the responsibility and the promise of all nations. It calls for free exchange and full collaboration. And the knowledge of our citizens is one treasure which grows only when it is shared. And this is a beautiful quote by Lyndon B. Johnson. And I think it clearly connect across borders. And I'm so grateful in a way to this pandemic at the moment. It has not only breathed life into our environment by making it flourish. Literally, we see so much more nature and abundance in nature, and we've become so much more observant of it thanks to the pandemic. And it's nice that we are able to catch our students young at this very tender age and make them think, because these borders are just really virtual. It's all in our mind. And once our hearts connect, we not only think for our own countries, we also tend to think for our neighboring countries. And we all try and evolve as a world population. So I saw a lot of understanding and insight that came across, and some things that we learned even about our own city. I'm sure as the students were exploring, were researching, I think both the teams were guided beautifully. So I want to congratulate the students from both the sides who've come forward to be a part of this very first virtual partnership program between both DPS STS Dhaka and DPS Bangalore East. And both the sides have put in really sincere efforts. I think it's really, really worth applauding all the effort that's gone into, and a lot of learning, not only about the temperature, about the climate, about the changes, but also a lot to learn in presenting ourselves to each other, in collaborating, in putting forth a question and getting an answer, and learning to overcome glitches and filling in for each other. So many little things that our students are taking back after this very first very, very fruitful exchange. Very informative, very beautiful presentations by both the teams. And I urge all the students to make the most of this beautiful collaboration that has been made possible as we have discovered modes of virtually connecting in this pandemic. So thank you to, in fact, DPS STS Dhaka for connecting with us and giving us and our students this opportunity to learn and to grow through this beautiful collaboration. And wishing all the students and faculty members the very best. I'd also like to thank our science head of the department, Ms. Shweta Gupta, our science teachers, Ms. Jyoti Chauhan and Ms. Shweta Khandeparkar, and our senior mistresses, Priya Palsole, Reshu Goyal, for having, led the students so beautifully. And also all the teachers of DPS STS Dhaka, head of the department, Mr. Shamim Siddiqui, Dr. Shivanand, for, of course, connecting and giving us the opportunity. And of course, Ms. Shalini is not here right now. I was connected with her. It was so good to connect with her initially to understand, and exchange ideas before we really started to crystallize this all. And I think it's going to be a beautiful partnership. We will soon be back with you with further details for the next session. Wishing both the teams all the very best in this new venture. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words, ma'am. And indeed, it was an opportunity, a good opportunity. And I have seen all our teachers and the other heads working tirelessly to make this a success. I would like to thank your school and your team for accepting this venture. It was a new idea, new thought, and it went. I think it has gone off really nicely. So look forward to our future meet, and I thank you all for joining in the program today. Thank you. We will call it a day today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful
Thank you
time.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.